What's up, guys? It's Coach Grant with First Down Training, and today we're going to be breaking down how you guys can beat a bigger DB. What are some of the things that you need to do to get off a press against a bigger physical guy? So we're going to be looking at these two clips here of how you guys can get off a physical jam, what you guys can do. We're going to be looking at this route from Sammy Watkins and Stephon Diggs. But the first thing I want to talk to you about, fellas, is a 28-day wide receiver gym plan for 50% off. We're having a half-off sale today only. Check out that very first link in the description to get our wide receiver gym program, month-long program, 28 days long of workouts that will help you guys get stronger, faster, more explosive, help with route running and your hands for 50% off. Check out that very first link in the description. Let's get started with this video. So we're going to look at this route, Super Bowl 2 years ago. We're going to be looking at this route from Sammy Watkins against Richard Sherman. Now, Richard Sherman's a big dude, man. He's 6'3", long, rangy, as you can tell right here. Very, very tough to beat this guy off a press. Okay, then the next clip, we're going to be taking a look at Diggs versus Jalen Ramsey, okay? And Ramsey, he's not short either. He's about 6'1", maybe 6'2", and going up against Diggs, maybe a little bit on the smaller side still, obviously probably bigger than me, I would assume, but still physical guys, right? Big physical guys that are bigger than us. How can we beat them off the line? Common question I get asked a lot, and range is the first thing I want to talk to you about, fellas. Range is the most important thing when you're beating a long physical guy. How can we set traps for him? And by traps, I mean working in this open space. You see how Watkins, when he comes off the line of scrimmage here, he's kind of attacking at this almost like 45-degree angle because Sherman has to make a decision to him right now. We're patient, but then we're sudden, right? So when we come off the line, I'm patient, nice and patient. Then I make this 1-2. I see that Sherman kind of drifts out with me. He's opening up his hips. He's watching my hips. I give him this little head fake, and then I could go. And I get his hips to lock out, and I beat this inside arm, right? It's all about being patient, understanding how a DB wants to play you and what he's going to be trying to do. So when I come off the line of scrimmage here, what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to do all this foot fire and waste my time and close the distance with him to where he could just jam and get hands and sit in this base. I'm going to try to work him. I'm going to try to see what he wants to do, because if Sherman, let's say he stays here, right? This is why this is a perfect release. I come off the line, I give him this little hesitation to the outside. You see how Sherman shuffles with him, right? When he shuffles with him, that gives up what? That gives up the inside. I could take this inside release. I give him a move and go. Now, let's say we come off the line of scrimmage and we shuffle to the outside and Sherman stays to the inside. He stays hard. He tries to jam with this hand. I could just go and take the outside release, right? It's all about reacting when you're playing these bigger physical guys. You want to set traps for them, and that's what I mean by that. When I say set traps, I mean let's work out in open space. Let's see what this guy does, and let's just go, right? Because when you could get into a range where he's forced to make a decision, because when I come off here, if he wants to lunge at me right now, okay, fine, but he's going to be out of his base. He's going to be trying to choke me. He's going to be trying to choke me. A DB shouldn't do that. I could just go. I could just shoulder reduce, swat the hands, and then get upfield because he doesn't have his base. He doesn't have his balance. But when he shuffles with me, he's forced to play this game. He's forced to play basketball with me. I shuffle to the outside. He's forced to watch my hips, and then I give him this little shake with my upper half. I get him to move, and then when we get him to open up his hips even just a little bit, you guys got to understand, to take an inside release, what hand do we have to beat? This is the thing that a lot of people screw up with these bigger, rangier guys, is that when they try to fight their hands or they try to get some separation, that they do too much. They make it too complicated. Keep it simple. To take an inside release, you just got to beat his inside arm. So you see what Watkins does here? He just chops over the top with this right hand. Let's take the inside release, chop over the top. Even if he recovers with this left hand, we're still off of press and we still kept timing. We need to trust myself at the top of the route. A lot of people think that press is about just breaking a dude's ankles and just getting him off and shaking him in open space, making him fall. That's not what it's about. It's about the whole goal of press for a DB, especially a bigger guy. What they're going to try to do is screw up the timing with the quarterback, so the quarterback moves on from that progression and has to go to something underneath or over the top or third, fourth read, maybe something backside or throw it to a check down. That's the whole goal of a press. But if we can just avoid that and keep the timing with my quarterback, then I'm off a press. I accomplished my goal. I'm ready to get upfield and go. And you see how when he beats that hand, Sherman gets caught looking in the backfield just a little bit right here, which just helps with that separation and maybe a slight hold there. But obviously, there's holding on every play. It's going to be physical. I don't need to use that as an excuse. But great job being able to get space, right? Work him into that range. Get him to shuffle with you. Then let's break back to the inside. Get his hands off you. Know what arm you have to beat, right? Because let's go back to this thing again. Let's say Sherman stays disciplined on the inside and tries to get real physical, and we shuffle to the outside, and let's say he just really takes away the inside release and I just go. If he tries to jam with two hands or with this left hand, I can just swat over the top of my left and then just go, because I need to just take the outside release. So it's just about reacting and knowing what you have to do to be able to get some separation. Let's watch this thing again, full speed one more time. So he comes off here, a little hesitate, give him that shake to the outside, work back to the inside, and then catch this ball over the top. That's a great route there by Watkins, okay? So now we're going to be looking at this route here. I know this clip's a little blurry because it's zoomed in, but we're going to be looking at Diggs versus Jalen Ramsey, right? Obviously, Ramsey known being a physical dude, right? Just getting hands, being real physical. And I'm obviously on the bigger side. He's a big DB. That's probably like just perfect size for a DB, 6'1", not too tall to where he can't move, but not too short to where he's a mismatch for guys. He could play with anybody. Any receiver on the field, he could roll with, he could go man coverage with, right? So let's watch this thing full speed. So you see how Diggs, kind of the same thing, gives him this little hesitation, works into that range, takes the outside release, and he runs a dig. So that's one of the key things that I want to talk about when you're facing a bigger DB is trusting yourself at the top of the route, right? Because a lot of the time it's about reacting. And again, here's the thing too. It's not something, and people say this shit all the time, and it's just like they say that, oh, he's not thinking about all this shit during the route. It's like, no shit, he's not thinking about this stuff during the route because he's got to go. It's a habit. It's muscle memory. But I'm breaking this down so you guys can understand that, hey, this is what goes into it. This is what I need to work on. And I need to rep this over and over and over again. So when it's time to roll, when it's time to actually go up against one of these guys, I know what to do, and I have a plan. It's about having a plan. You can't just go out there and just be like, fuck it, I guess I'll try this. I guess I'll try this. No, you need to go out there with something in mind, execute it, and then go. So you see when he comes off the line right here with Diggs, he gives this little hesitation move, sees how Ramsey's going to be playing it, and what's Ramsey doing? He's taking away the inside. He's bailing. He's not trying to lunge, not trying to get physical, but if we try to go to the inside here and we try to force an inside release, Ramsey will knock us completely off this route and completely reroute me to the inside of the field, and I will have no separation. I'll screw up the spacing on the entire play, right? So what I got to do is I got to trust myself with this outside release. If Ramsey's giving me the outside, I got to go with it because against a bigger physical guy, I can't force anything because he's just going to completely knock me off the route and reroute me. So what do? I take the outside release and I work to get back over the top, right? And you see how he doesn't waste much time. He's working those hands throughout the route. The release doesn't end at just the line of scrimmage. You got to work those hands all the way throughout the route. Now, when we're able to restack here, you see how he's still got to run a dig. It's ideal to take an inside release on a dig, but not every time is it going to be there. That's the thing. You hear people all the time, oh, it's an inside breaking route. You must take an inside release. That's completely wrong. If anybody's telling you that, they don't know what they're talking about, right? So you could take an outside release, make sure that we trust myself at the top of the route. I give this little head fake at the top. You see how Diggs kind of gives this little square cut move, gets Ramsey to sit to the outside, and then look at the space that I've created for myself. But you try to force that inside release and you get rerouted into here, all this spacing is screwed up. He could guard two people. He could guard you, then he could guard the receiver over here. Same with this guy. He could guard here, and he could guard you. He could guard whichever receiver's in front of him, and he could guard the other guy. So it's about knowing the situation, knowing that you could take an outside release, which is fine. Just against these bigger physical guys, we cannot force anything, right? And same thing, we're going to take it back the other way, just like we did the other time. With the other route, let's say he bails out and let's say he faces the quarterback. I give this little hesitation move right here. Say he hesitates and let's say Ramsey kind of bails out and he gives this little press bail look and he gives the inside release. Let's take the inside release and let's go. He's sitting there in zone. Let's take the inside release and let's try to run this dig and push vertical or maybe sell an outside breaking route. So we got to understand that little hesitation move against a bigger guy or a hesitation move against more physical guy using range to kind of be at your advantage can get you a lot of separation. Let's watch this thing again, full speed one more time. So coming off here, gets a little hesitation move, sees what he wants to do, work those hands throughout the route. Just make sure that we never stop working, even when we don't have the ball in our hands. All right, guys, I really want to thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. If you guys have any questions at all, please leave those in the comments. And again, 50% off wide receiver gym program ends today. Okay, it ends tonight at midnight. So if you guys want to get access to our 28-day wide receiver gym plan, 28 days full of workouts to help your route running, hands, explosiveness, strength, core strength, upper body, and lower body strength. Check out that very first link in the description. Again, 50% off today only. I'll see you guys next time.